And hello, everybody. Welcome to Sports Shorts Daily. Ronnie Rance here with you alongside Tommy Christ and TK coming to you from Tremonti's Meat and Seafood. I am up in Natchitoches, Louisiana, up here at the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, just stepping out to talk a little bit about this LSU baseball game that happened this morning. TK, the Tigers took care of business. They beat South Carolina, which, by the way, third time they played this year. Remember, the third game of the series was rained out in Columbia, so I guess we count it as a series win, right, over South Carolina this year. That means they won 8 of the 10 series that they played this season in SEC play. Dominant fashion by LSU. They took advantage of a lot of walks by the Gamecocks. Joe Bear had a big homer that set the tone early on. But Thatcher Hurd was the story of the day on the mound. LSU did not go with Paul Skeens on the mound, which would have required him to throw in 6 days rest instead of 7. He had already done that the week before. He threw well into almost 120 pitches at Georgia. They didn't want to. There's no need to bring him back a little early and to push him and tax him for the SEC tournament. So now they'll have the ability to go with full rest with Skeens tomorrow on 7 days. And then they'll also, after that, Tommy, have the ability to, they're guaranteed getting Ty Floyd to start. That's what today's win did. But talk about Thatcher Hurd for a minute from what you saw from him today.
Well, he battled. He didn't want to come out of the game when he thought they were coming to get him, and he dropped the F-bomb because he thought he was coming out. And Coach Johnson stayed with him, let him work through it because they're gonna need this guy, as Ben McDonald said. They're gonna need him to be a dude if they're gonna win this whole thing up in Omaha. So I think they were up 5, which means you give up a grand slam, you're still up 1, and your bats are hot. So I thought that, there was some talk on social media that should he have gotten him out of there? No, because if you're going to win this thing, you got a lot of baseball to play between now and Sunday, and you got to prepare for regional, super regional, and the Omaha. Now, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but you made a good point. Now, Ty Floyd's going to get to throw Friday, okay, which will be good. He can get that in there and then throw it next week in the regional. Also, LSU will play at 4:30 tomorrow against the winner of A&M and Arkansas that's playing right now. And A&M's got a big rally in the top of the third. They're up 3-0. It was 0-0 when they came to bat. That'll be 4:30 Louisiana time tomorrow for you Tiger fans. But Hurd was good. He was putting everything into every pitch, and his 95th pitch was 95 miles an hour. That's amazing, he just got it done. He battled, he competed, and if he gets some confidence after getting the win in extra innings against Georgia, what he did today would be called a quality start, good outing. That's going to be big for LSU going forward. Now they'll throw Skeens tomorrow against the winner of A&M and Arkansas.
So it was interesting, Tommy. I want to say you've got the box score there in front of you. I don't. After 5 innings, LSU was up, I believe, 5-1. Is that what you got right there?
Yeah.
Okay. Ideally, so Hurd had thrown 80 pitches through 5 innings, and through 5 innings, he only had given up 2 hits and 1 earned run, and he hadn't walked anybody, and he struck out a 4, I believe. That's a fantastic line, especially for somebody who's had such a rough year like Thatcher Hurd. That would have been the ideal time to take him out of the game. And here's why I say that, okay? You want him to finish on a high. You want him to have ultimate confidence. You want him to be like, man, I went out there and shoved for 5 innings. We had a 5-1 lead. They turned it over to the bullpen. I did my job. I feel fantastic. Instead, he gives up 3 hits, 2 walks in the 6th, 4 runs, 3 earned. It's just, and then, okay, yeah, I mean, he battled and you got him to 100 pitches, but the 6th inning was crap. And so but that's also a sign of, it's a sign of how lack of confidence that LSU has in its bullpen, that with a 5-run lead and 4 innings to go, that they're not confident enough to get the ball to anybody to finish the game, that they got to squeeze blood out of a turnip with Thatcher Hurd. So instead, he goes out there in the 6th, and it's a crappy 6th. Or how about this, Tommy? If you don't want to be that guy, which, again, I was like, with a 5-1 lead, and he's only thrown 80 pitches because he hasn't thrown beyond 80 pitches this year. I don't know how many the max amount of pitches is he's done this year, but I'd be willing to bet it hadn't been maybe but one time over 80. And that might have been at Texas earlier this year when he went into the 5th. He didn't get through 5. So okay, so if you don't want to be the guy who, I believe in getting that guy out of there, you did your job. You gave us 5 innings. Now you're a dude for the regionals, and then turn it over to the rest of the guys. But if not, then let him start the 6th, Tommy. And the minute he walks a guy, go get him. The minute he gives up a hit and a walk, go get him. But we left him in there to walk 2 and give up 2 hits or whatever, or 2 or 3 hits.
Well, I don't think Jay Johnson would admit this, but I think he was looking at winning the game and the big picture. Yeah, I got to get this. This guy's got to, get over that hump or jump that hurdle to know that we can count on him. And I'm speculating. I certainly could be wrong. But, and then they bring Dutton in. He walks one guy and they yank him. And then Ackenhausen, you got to tip your hat to him. He came in and got it done, when South Carolina was swinging from their heels.
Ackenhausen, he looked like the Ackenhausen that LSU had before he sat out for 3 weeks with that hamstring. Ackenhausen, the first month of the season, was arguably the best LSU reliever, or at least the most consistent, and had pitched in some big moments. And then when he was out for 3 weeks or so, he came back, hamstring, 1 or 2, batters, hurt again. He hasn't been the same since the first, the middle of March. Today, he finally looked like the guy that was in February and early March, and hopefully that'll be a sign of things to come. So good news today. Interesting storyline, right? That Thatcher Hurd was using Paul Skeens' glove. That's kind of a cute story. Skeens had an extra glove. Hurd's it broke. He pitched with it today. Obviously, there's a lot of good mojo in that glove. And then also, so him and Ackenhausen were the storylines. LSU got it done offensively, put up a 10 spot. And now we're on to tomorrow. There's no reason to think that Skeens won't get it done tomorrow. You get Floyd. By the way, check this, Tommy. I think if they win tomorrow, they don't play till Saturday.
Correct.
They changed the format a little bit. So you don't have to play Friday. You play only one game Saturday. There's no more double elimination on Saturday and all that stuff. It's one game Saturday, and then if you win it, you're in the finals. They did all those to try to limit the number of games you play in the SEC tournament because you don't want to burn out these teams prior to a regional. So they changed the format a little bit. Hey, it was a great win for LSU because you won a game when you didn't throw Floyd and you didn't throw Skeens. You found a way to win. So that's a lot to be said for this victory today.
Yeah, so that's good. You're not dressed in your Black Widow Biker Club Rougarou gear, Ron. Everybody's seeing all the social media stuff. I was calling you Rogue Ron, but, we're having a lot of fun with that. And, of course, don't forget, folks, Rougarou next Tuesday night, Pete Goldsby Field. Cane Cutters, league champs from last year. Going to be a heck of a night. Get your tickets now, your merchandise, your hats, your shirts, your Yeti cups, your gear. brrougarou.com.
Couple little notes on the Rougarou, by the way. Opening night, as you mentioned, May 30th, and we play games 3 days in a row, 30th, 31st, and 1st. So come on out. We did solidify, and I'm telling you this and the folks at the same time. We did solidify that all Saturday and Sunday Rougarou home games and away games in Lafayette will be on the radio. That's a total of 10. Games out of our 48 that we play will be on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, and the TCL All-Star game will be on the radio on Wednesday, July 5th. And if there's any playoff games in August, those games will be on the radio as well. So we've got 10 regular season.
Wednesday, July 7th, I believe.
Wednesday, July 5th. So Any Rougarou home games on Saturday and Sunday, and any Rougarou games at the Acadiana Cane Cutters will be on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. We're excited about that. And then the All-Star game in July, the day after July 4th, July 5th is the All-Star game. It'll be at Alex Box Stadium. That game will be on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge as well, plus any playoff games in August. So we're excited to be on the radio again this year, plus all the games are streamed on TCL TV, and we'll have 6 games on Pelican Broadcasting, Cox Cable Channel 20 in Lafayette and Baton Rouge, and other places you can find it as well. So a lot going on with the Rougarou. We hope to see everybody out there next week. It'll be a lot of fun. What else is going on in the world of sports today, TK?
Well, the Celtics avoided elimination last night, beat the Heat, forced Game 5, which will be tomorrow night back in Boston. A lot of talk about, the Heat, the 8th seed and this, that, and the other. And, we'll see. The Heat of Celtics 7.5-point favorite tomorrow night. So a little NBA talk. And, of course, the The Nuggets are just kicking back with their feet up and they're just relaxing and waiting for the finals, which don't start till June 1, regardless of whether the series ends tomorrow night or not. That's the way TV has got it laid out. Other than that, you got, golf tournament over in Fort Worth, the Colonial, the Byron Nelson. A lot of controversy coming out now about the Live Tour. Brooks Koepka's coach slammed CBS for not talking enough about the Live Tour and whatnot. So you can read all that on all your favorite website platforms. But a lot of that flying around. Major League Baseball's full speed ahead, obviously, and people are getting fired up about the Rougarou.
The Brooks Koepka deal. I mean, look, let's face it. Oh, by the way, we got an explanation, right, on the Koepka shaking the hand, not shaking of the hand of the PGA tour, PGA chairman. Explain that deal.
Yeah, now they're saying that they actually shook hands several times when the camera wasn't on them. And it was not done by Koepka, not done by Whalen, the guy at the PGA of America. I sent you a link to that article because you and I discussed it on air and off the air. So, yeah, apparently it got a little blown up, a little more than it should have been.
Yeah, supposedly they were even joking about how they've taken all these pictures and they've never seen these pictures over the years and blah, 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 blah. So no bad blood there, but understandable that people would try to read and stuff to that. Look, there's going to be bad blood between the PGA Tour and the Live Tour. That's not going away. But look, the fact that 4 golfers finished in the top 18 in the PGA Championship, the fact that Koepka and Mickelson and others did so well at the Masters, do you think, Tommy, that there is going to come a day in the next year or two where there is any sort of working together between those two tours, or is it just always going to be animosity? Meaning, like, are they going to ease up on these golfers? Because if you're Rory McIlroy, who's a guy who was very outspoken about the Live Tour, and he was sort of the spokesman for the PGA players, well, you got more money, you got more stuff, you got better treatment because of Koepka and the Live Tour. So it seems like there should be more kumbaya than there is.
I think eventually there will be, and it may happen when Greg Norman's out of the picture because he's the one who was alienated against the PGA Tour before Live Golf was ever a thought. I think if Norman got out the way, you'd see something because other tours, the European Tour and the South African Tour and the Australian Tour always got along with the PGA, okay? But they never had somebody throwing the money at, Phil Mickelson and Koepka and Cam Smith and all this guy. I think eventually there's going to be some type of mesh thing going forward. And, U.S. Opens next month, then the British Opens, the month after that. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff in front. The Ryder Cup this fall. It's going to be interesting to follow this whole golf story. I'm glad you brought that up.
Tommy, I haven't gotten an invitation to play in the British Open yet. I'm a little disappointed. I thought, being a 20 handicap and shooting an 85 at the old course a couple weeks ago, that would give me some sort of exemption, but it hadn't happened.
Yeah, I know. I'm surprised that hadn't come. You need to double check your mail next time. Check the email box. Maybe it went in your spam box. Ronnie, I can't believe they haven't invited you. I'm stunned. Okay, so John Daly's going. You should have got John. You could have caddied for John, maybe. John, hung out with him at Augusta.
Can walk 18 these days.
Well, I know, but anyway. All right, man. Hey, so LSU 4:30 tomorrow. A&M's up 3-0. Arkansas batting bottom of 3.
By the way, A&M a little bit of a surprise, right? They shut out a hot Tennessee team yesterday. They're having a really good run right now. By the way, I was a big fan of A&M going into the season. I thought A&M might be one of the top 3 or 4 teams in the SEC this year. That hadn't happened. But who knows, man? Look at last year. Ole Miss was the last team to get into the field of 64, literally the last team, and they went and won the national championship. So, you can get a little value right now if you go buy Texas A&M win the College World Series on DraftKings or Barstool or any of those. You might get a little value, TK.
One other note, Ronnie, never in the history of the SEC tournament had they opened with 2 straight shutouts. And yesterday they opened with 3 straight shutouts before Missouri and Auburn played late last night. So, so that's a big park. That's a pitcher's park, okay, but not necessarily for shutouts. So be curious to see if Skeens can wheel and deal a shutout.
All right, TK, signing off. What Paul Bird, Beard, you name it. tons of great Wendell Davis, Walter Davis, you name it. Go check them out at lasportshow.com. We hope to see you up there.
All right, Ronnie Rance up there in Natchitoches at the Hall of Fame. We'll remind you, Tremonti's Meat and Seafood. Still got crawfish, a couple of more weeks. They got all the steaks, got a whole ribeye special right now, seafood, the wine and the whiskey that's always behind me when I'm here at Tremonti. Check them out on Jefferson Highway, right down the street from Parkview Baptist Church and School. Tremonti's open Tuesday through Saturday. Hit up their website, tremontis.com. Connect on Facebook and Instagram. Got a special on Corazon Tequila. I don't have a bottle in front of me. Big time stuff there. Huge liquor and wine selection here at Tremonti's Meat and Seafood. Do check them out. Still got boiled crawfish. Can still get you live crawfish if you're trying to get them in one more time. Sports Shorts Daily will be back this Friday morning, 9:30 Friday morning. I'll be here at Tremonti's Meat and Seafood. No telling where Ronnie Rance will be. Don't forget Saturday morning, Sports Shorts Radio from the LeBears Barstool Sportsbook, 10 a.m. to 12 noon on 104.5 ESPN in Baton Rouge. Please like and share this video. That helps makes things go round and round. We appreciate that very, very much. Appreciate all the comments today, Carl and Craig and Rachel. Appreciate everybody jumping in, and we'll be back on Friday morning. Have a great day, everybody.